examples about epidemics. Now, in your last lesson, you and your teacher, you actually share some ideas about Spanish flu, right? Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. This is better. Now, for that reason, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see some epidemics throughout the history. The important one, or these are the ones who affect the world population, and they really, really dangerous in that specific time period. Now, without further ado, let's start the first one. Ladies and gentlemen, in 165 AD, we had a plague called Antoine. Now, let me ask you a question. Around this period, how the health system working? What do you think?
Leeches.
Leeches, okay. What else? Or let me rephrase my question. Do you think that in 165 AD, do you think that the hospitals are existed?
No.
No. Okay. Do you think that they have some improved equipments to solve the problems?
Burada yapacağınız şey zor olan kısmı sadece çarpanları ayırmayla ilgili. Çok aşırı zor değil zaten. Şimdi
Oğuz hocam mikrofon lütfen.
Okay. Now, with this sudden change, let me ask this question to, let's see. Sarp.
Yep.
Sarp, do you think that the doctors are effective in that period?
Not effective enough, apparently.
Okay. Now, thank you very much. This Antoine plague, guys, they also know this as a plague of Galen, and it was a very ancient pandemic, affect the Minor Asia, Egypt, Greece, and Italy, and of course they modified as smallpox or the measles. And the worst part is, only this plague, they don't know what caused it. This disease will spread throughout these period, like the Minor Asia, Egypt, Greece, and Italy, and it affects over 5 million people. Now, for this reason, now let me ask you a question. You all know what is Roman army, yeah? Guys?
Rome, yes, but
Roman army?
everyone.
Yes.
I don't know.
Or let me rephrase my question. Do you know the legions?
No.
Okay. Now,
Please don't.
in that period, Roman Empire was spread all around the world, almost all around the world. And their legionnaires, they were famous, by the way. You can take a look into it right after the lesson if you like. These army were ferocious. These people, they are nothing to scare. They were so well trained. They never lose battles. I mean, not easily, at least. But this pandemic decimate. Do you know what does it mean, decimate? Thank you very much. When I ask you a question, try to answer this, guys.
Does it mean like to destroy or to remove?
Exactly. Decimate means destroy. Nothing left. Now, imagine that this ferocious army, these soldiers, they were all killed by just a plague. And this plague of Galen decimate the Roman army for a long period. They can't even get back up. The reason that they get this disease because they were returning from the Mesopotamia. Imagine that you travel from the Egypt and you go back to your country, which is Italy right now, and is a great place to just spread this disease all around the Rome. And in that moment, they don't have some medical services. I mean, they have. And these guys, by the way, did you have any idea about the Romans' beliefs? Let's ask this question to Berkataç.
Efendim hocam.
Berkataç, do you have any idea about Romans' beliefs?
No, I don't know anything.
Okay, did you heard something like Apollo or Ares?
No.
Polytheistic.
They believe in
Okay,
different
now-
gods.
Yes.
Hocam şu an sesiniz bana gelmiyor.
Bana da gel.
Hocam direkt dondunuz.
Hocam
Evet,
oldu.
Bana da gelmedi.
Bir kapat aç. İyi olur.
Hocanın int gitti herhalde. Ha.
Aga be.
Hoca düştü ya.
Üzdü be.
Sarmadı.
Gençler, Yayını durdurup donma numarası.
Hoca geldi.
Heh, hocam mikrofonunuz kapalı.
Okay, can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
We can.
Good. Now let's go back. And there we go. Okay. So let's go from here. Yeah. At the last moment, I told you guys we were talking about the Greek and the Romans. So these Romans, they believe multiple gods to solve problems. Like if something happened in this land, in the cities, they immediately go to Apollo or another god to solve this problem. They don't use science. And this was actually another big reason to this Antoine plague to spread around the lands. Okay. Here is another example. Plague of Justinian. Another interesting plague in Europe. Now, this actually killed, officially, it actually killed almost a half population of Europe. And the plague of Justinian, the reason that they say this is a plague of Justinian, it actually affected the Byzantine Empire and the Mediterranean port cities. You know what is Byzantine Empire, yes?
Is Byzantine Byzance?
Yes. And Justinian in that, but in Byzantines, Justinian is a famous figure, and people immediately gave this man's name to this plague. Compared with the first disease, it was affect 25 million population. Another interesting fact about this, they devastate the city of Constantinople, also known right now, also known as Istanbul. Every day, guys, every day, they estimate 5,000 people killed because of this disease. This is the 40% of the city population in that moment. And
5,000 people every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is 40%. So your friends, maybe those who, let's say, good friendship with you, or those you love, they won't be here next day. You know, you understand, right? This is a very dangerous disease, but thank God it was actually get the hell out of our world. So we are happy. Okay. Aha. Now you maybe didn't understand in English format, but you all guys know one disease affect, actually not affect, they actually decimate Europe, Africa, and Asia, around 75 between 200 million people. You know what does it mean, Black Death?
Yes.
Boğaçan, mikrofonunu kapat
Boğaçan.
Yes.
Do you know what does it mean, the Black Death?
Yes.
Can you share this with your friends?
Well, I don't know exactly what it is. I've just heard of it.
Okay.
You know, very deadly disease that killed 1/3 of Europe.
Yeah.
That's
right.
That's all I know.
That's right. Anyone who had some idea about Black Death? Or do you want me to continue? Let's go to Muratan. Muratan,
Hi.
do you have any idea about this plague?
The Black Death. Actually, no, I just heard it.
Yeah, okay. Now, actually, guys, let me ask you a question. How many people love play some sort of survival games?
Me.
Okay.
Now,
Now,
I do.
yeah, there is a game on the internet called the Black Death, by the way. They show in that game, they show how does this affect Europe, and you have to act like one man or woman who try to survive in that Black Death period. The game is so effective, people try to understand that it is not a game, but maybe a simulation. Because whatever happens in that period, they show there. Like imagine that you just live in a very beautiful city, we have no problems. One day, with just little rat who sneak into a merchant ship or a merchant cart can decimate your city in just a couple of months. Did you know how do they jumped it?
No.
They used the rats. Because the big cities around Europe, Africa, or Asia, they have a lots of trading ships coming in, right? And the trade carts come in, come out. They have a trade routes, correct?
Yes.
So, for that reason, they don't know that actually just little rats carry this by just jumping to the merchant ships.
Mhm.
And wherever they go, they actually carry the disease as well. And when they just try to dock to a nearest city, these docks are perfect place to breed. Because imagine that they got food there, they got a place where they can easily sleep with nothing affect them. And they, by just doing this, they devastate 3 continents. In Turkish, people said kara veba.
Mhm.
Did you heard this in Turkish version?
Yes. Teacher, I have a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How did the rats spread this disease? Was it by biting, or did the disease just like go around for no reason?
It's
was
like a magnet. Imagine that there is a rat who carried this, and let's say we called it patient 0, and
Yes.
another healthy rat just passed next to him or her, I don't know. Next thing you know, these bacteria will jump into this healthy rat as well, because they are close. And the black death, black death was spread by just using the air as well as close connections. If they just stay side by side, if one of them is healthy, the next one can easily spread this disease to the next one. As a result, it spread like that. And when the humans caught it, they just do this by talking. They just do it by handshaking, by just sitting in the same room can be a great way to spread this. So,
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure. And another one. Let's try to close to our location. In 1852 and 1860, there is a cholera pandemic. Actually, the 3rd cholera pandemic. Now, you may be asked, but sir, why we don't see the 1st and 2nd? Because the 3rd one was the most effective one. And they have 7 different cholera pandemics. Now, before we come to this point, we saw some examples, some pandemics, but in that period, the healthcare system was bad, right?
Yes.
Thank you. I think the next question goes for Alper. Alper, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Perfecto. So, Alper, tell us, now around 18th century, which is between 1852 and 1860, we can say that this is 18th century, right?
Yeah.
Now, let me
Wrong.
ask you,
Isn't it 17th century?
who said 17?
I
Sorry.
did.
You did? Why?
Because, oh, no, it's 19th century, isn't it?
Yeah. No,
Why
it
did I-
actually lasted. Yeah.
Why do I think it
starts-
was...
let
okay,
me
no,
let
that's right.
me let me enlighten you. Now, between 1852 and 1860, we called it as 18th century. Now, when I
Yes.
say the 18th century, it starts from 1801. It goes up to 19th century, the beginning of the 19th century. Okay.
Okay.
The moment that you say 19th century, it goes like 1901, 1902, 1903. It goes like that.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
Now, this third cholera pandemic it originated. The main headquarters, I can say, it's in India. You know the Ganges River, right? Or did you heard this river?
No.
No. Okay, let's ask this question to Simai.
Am I need to close my microphone?
Yes, sir. Please do.
Okay, thanks.
Pleasure. Simai, are you with us? You can open your mic.
Mikrofon açamıyorum. Şöyle yazdı.
Okay. Then Sıla. Sıla, are you here? Shame on you guys. Teoman.
Evet hocam.
Thank you. Now, Teoman, tell me. Do
Efendim
you know
hocam.
the Ganges River?
Sesiniz yeni geldi de hocam. Şu an Selman mı konuşuyor anlamadım.
Hocam Sıla konuşuyor.
Okay, now Sıla.
Efendim?
Teoman, I will ask you another question.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know the Ganges River?
Ne?
Ganges River in
No,
India.
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't
Hocam
know.
duyuyor musunuz beni şimdi?
Yes.
Tamam, evet. Dinliyorum.
Okay. Let's ask the same question to you. Do you know where the Ganges River?
No, I don't know anything.
Okay. Now,
Yes, I've heard of it actually.
you heard of it. Good.
Yeah.
Can you share your knowledge with us?
Oh, I don't have a knowledge actually.
Okay. So, let me define this Ganges River for you guys. In your home, you have a bathroom, correct?
Ganji Nehri değil miydi?
Yes.
Ha, okay.
You have a bathroom, right? In your houses? I believe so.
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Thank you. Good. Now imagine that people in India, in order to have some shower, they don't use their bathroom.
Yes,
Yeah,
this is
they use
yes,
the
I know.
Yes, they don't.
Yeah, especially in that period, they use Ganges River as a showering room.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
ew.
Yeah, and imagine that suddenly around 1,000 people, they jump to this river, they take off their clothes and they have a shower like that. And do you think that it will be a healthy place?
Yes, really.
Healthy?
No,
That's not healthy.
Not in the slightest, no.
that's healthy.
I mean, I really have to ask you, what is your
It's a joke,
definition
guys.
about health?
This is
Okay.
disgusting actually.
Say again?
This is disgusting, I think.
Yes, that is correct. But in that period, people in India, they don't have, let's say, a bathroom system, but instead they jump into this river. They do what they do in bathrooms. Imagine that. Then you will have some ideas about how Ganges River clear
Yeah.
is. And so, for that reason, guys, we have a British physician, John Snow. He tracked some cases about cholera, and he also mentioned that some of the water around London is actually contaminated. This is the way to travel, let's say, this pandemic, travel by using sea and the rivers. Now, imagine this. Ganges River must be connected to a sea, right? Is it?
Yes.
Okay, now for that reason, guys, 23,000 people died in Great Britain only. And in gangs around India, it worked like magic. And it's ending the lives over 1 million people. And this is only an official records, guys. We don't know the unofficial ones. Okay. Now you may be familiar with this one, the flu pandemic. You all know what does it mean, flu, yes?
Yeah, this is the most common one.
Yeah, this is a common one. Also, they actually now, when the doctor said, I just heard something yesterday. Some people said, you know, when the doctor said influenza, we will definitely gonna die.
I mean, influenza isn't that deadly, is it?
Yeah, unless you have some treatments, necessary treatments, and if you have some house arrest or hospital arrest, it doesn't matter. It would be a good way to just rid of this disease. Now, in that period, again in 1889, between 1890, they called it Asiatic flu or the Russian flu.
Ruski.
Yeah. It is actually a subtype of H2N2. You heard this term before, H2N2?
Yeah, in chemistry we did.
You know, people just a couple of years ago, I think no, just a year ago, people just running around by saying that, oh my God, I got domuz gribi, yeah, like that. So H2N2 actually represent that. But they had a multiple subtype to show some variables. Now, this one, the first one they observed in May 1889 and in 3 separate and distant locations. Now, the one is Bukhara, the Central Asia. In that moment, they say Turkestan, but it is now Turkmenistan. A city called Athabasca in the northwestern Canada and Greenland. 3 different locations. Now, especially guys, in 19th century, there were a rapid population growth. And especially for the urban areas, which we said, we know what does it mean, urban areas?
Yes, like a small town kind of place.
Kind of. Any different idea?
It's a town or a city, pretty much.
Yeah. So
like
the urban
populated.
areas, yeah, urban areas represents the cities actually. Like Istanbul, we can say that this is an urban area. Every part of Istanbul, unless the population not crowded, we called it urban areas. But the moment that we said, let's say, I don't know, Şile, for example, what do we call Şile? If it is urban?
Village? Question mark?
Village, no. We called it rural areas.
Oh.
So when I say the rural areas, that's, ladies and gentlemen, defines that we should really careful about the urban, because these outbreaks are easily spread across the globe by just using the urban areas, because people had so much interactions. Imagine that they go to cafes, they go restaurant, they go nightclubs to have some fun, right? or they go internet cafes, especially high school students. We saw lots of examples. Is it, Sir?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. And it costs over, again, 1 million.
Melis mikrofon kapalı.
Is that?
Arkadaşım, Melis'in mikrofonu... Tamam.
Is
tamam,
she here
kapandı.
with us?
Biz de hocam kapattı, tamam.
Okay. And let me check the next name. Let's see. Burak Bashit, are you with us?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Now, Burak, can you please read that section for us? The 6th cholera pandemic. You don't like me, don't you?
Like its 5 previous
Incarnations.
incarnations, the 6th cholera pandemic originated in India, where it killed over 800.
Help him.
8,000.
Eight-
Actually 800,000.
800,000 before
800,000, sorry,
before spreading to Middle East, North Africa, Eastern Europe, and Russia. The 6th cholera pandemic was also the source of the last American outbreak of cholera. 1911 American health teacher. Authorities, having learned from the past, quickly sought to isolate the infected, and only 11 deaths occurred in the USA. By 1923, cholera cases had been cut down dramatically, although it was still a constant in India.
Okay. Now, this 6th cholera pandemic, despite that the third one is the most effective one, the 6th cholera was actually shows some differences around the world, but it is still showing some examples in India. So we didn't get rid of it, actually. Now, the America was suffered from the outbreak of cholera, but they believe that this 6th cholera pandemic was the reason of this. Now, American health authorities in that period, 1910 and 1911, they improved their healthcare system. They started to have some research labs. They tried to search what's the source of it, and they tried to solve that problem. And their doctors started to become more experienced ones. Now, another interesting fact about America. Now, do you think that in that period America was existed, or they just knew government? Because I have a question right after that.
Can you repeat the question?
Okay,
please?
let me rephrase my question. Do you know what happens in America in that period? 1910 and 1911.
Slavery? Or is that before?
They almost end this. I mean, they had some examples in that period, but they rid of this a long period. Yeah. What else? What do we know? What do we remember? Now, let me tell you, do you know the 4th of July?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's important, 4th of July, about the United
Independence
States?
Day.
Good. So in the reason this 4th of July, before this cholera, they actually having a war, a long-ended war, right?
Yeah.
And when this war happened, they don't have a single unity. Instead, they had some colonies, right?
What do you mean? Like,
Let me, let's say around 18th century, they have a colony, right?
Colonies? I don't.
Or is it 17th century?
Teacher.
Yes.
But cholera virus now move on in Africa maybe because too many people in the year dead for cholera or another virus in Africa.
Look, we just know that the 6th cholera pandemic still shows some examples in India, which is not so far away from Africa, because it can easily infect the seas, and this can easily spread through by just using India. It can easily go through the Africa. So of course, there will be a possibilities, and as you know that in Africa they don't have enough, let's say, water system. I can say that. So this could be a great place for the flu to spread, isn't it?
Okay, thank you.
I really scared when you didn't speak, guys. Oh, okay.
Also, the lesson ended.
Say again?
Lesson.
Yes, I know. We just ended. And so the next hour, guys, we're going to continue from our book.
Okay.
And we will continue by using, let's see. Yeah, page 71. Okay? From students' book. All right. Take care, everyone. See you in 10 minutes. And let's meet here. Okay?
Hocam yoklamayı aldınız mı?
Yes, I did.
Hocam ikinci dersin başına yine alacak mısınız?
Exactly.
Hocam çıkıyoruz.
Çıkalım mı hocam?
Just a moment.
İsterseniz hocam kaydı durdurun.